Yes, Manchester City are not back with a game, but it's transfer news. Loads of transfer news today. What day is today? Wednesday, or what? You're watching this on the Thursday now, possibly, but the Wednesday, the 23rd of August was a mental day, nuts day. Yeah, so much happened today. But yeah, let's get into it. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps other City fans find the video, find the channel. Subscribe if you are new. And yeah, let's break today down. So the big news the last day or two, but it seems like an age ago now, was Jeremy Doku getting signed, sealed and delivered, like I talked about in my last video. 65 million euros, 51, 53, 54 million pounds, whatever the deal or the package would be. But that is all news. Flew in, had his medical today, but yeah, that was early on in the day. That really seems like old news now. He signed his 5-year deal till 2028. Yeah, old news. Jeremy Doku, he's old news nowadays. Just go Guardiola's just as part of the furniture now. But yeah, Jeremy Doku is old news. Then we got other breaking news. Who came first? It was, honestly, I don't even know who came first. I think it was... We start off with Laporte. Anyway, Laporte announced he's leaving City. Lovely video that he posted out. Heartwarming messages he left on Twitter as well. Nice touch nice touch that he's left. He's always seemed the type of character, the type of player that actually interacts with us fans on Twitter. He's been the most active guy on Twitter with fans, and it was nice that he kind of, not just only a video, but also a message on Twitter just for the fans as well. Yeah, nice touch from him. Very nice touching messages. Like I said, the video was nice as well. It was just a nice ending from him. It was quite sad, the messages that they sent him because he's leaving. But yeah, he leaves on a good note. Yeah, Laporte, sayonara. It's loved you and leave you, but it's been, yeah, great serving for that sounded like I was so I was glad to see him go. Not glad to see him go, but out with the old, in with the new. Josko Gvardiol's in now. We'll celebrate that. But yeah, Laporte, glad he came to the club when he did. And yeah, hopefully, well, he will secure the bag out in Saudi, but hopefully he has a great time out there, but smashes it. And yeah, all power to him. So yeah, but then about 10 minutes, maybe half an hour later, or even this could have happened before, I don't know, can't really remember, but Bernardo Silva news dropped. Yes, sir. Yes. Bernardo Silva staying till probably next year if we're being realistic. But the contract is till 2026. Does he have a release clause next year for 47 million? Has not been fully confirmed yet by the big dogs. Sam Lee said it probably does. Fabrizio or David Ornstein haven't said so far, I'm pretty sure. But he may have a 47 million one. There may be a gentleman's agreement I've seen that he may be going to Benfica in 2 years' time. I don't care. I thought he was dead and gone this summer. I thought Kyle Walker was the same thing. But he's staying this year now. That's worth it in my opinion. If he's staying this year, that is just worth it. Yeah, the window is just getting so much better and better and better. Just him staying, signings, just, yeah, that I get on to in a second. Whoa, today has been mad, really. So Bernardo, news dropping, saying he loves the manager, he loves the fans, he loves his players he works with. He just loves it all. Maybe he'll want to go back into the sun in Barcelona. We get that. I get that. Barcelona is also like a huge club for any kind of not Mediterranean, but Portuguese, Spanish player. Barcelona is one of the, well, is the biggest club for any player realistically, but if you're from kind of that sort of area, yeah, I can see why. The legacy they've made is ridiculous. That's why they can just attract these sort of players. But I reckon if we had the Sun, he'd be staying here for longer. But he could be going to Benfica in a couple of years. But we have him now to stay for at least the next year, which I would have bitten your hand off at the start of the window if you had told me that. So don't care if he leaves well, I will next year. But for right now, don't care if he leaves next year because we've got him for this year. He's here to stay. So that's Bernardo Silva news drop. So that's Jeremy Doku medical. Laporte leaving, sad news. Bernardo Silva staying, great news. Then we got some incoming transfer news. Boy, this dropped like, yeah, this news dropped bombs. I think it was, who brought it out? I don't even know who individually dropped it, but I think The boys got on board, Fabrizio got on board, I think Jack Gohan got on board. I don't know who first broke it, but I'm starting off with Eberechi Eze. Early in the morning it was sounded like £90 million, later in the day it was sounded like £70 million. Eberechi Eze, would you take him in your midfield? I know I probably would, but the prices that are being quoted are kind of nutty. Will Crystal Palace sell this late in the window? It's all a bit of a just a lot of hum and a han and a lot of not knowing what's going to happen with the deal. Just because it's so fast paced, it dropped today. It dropped today, and to be honest, by the end of the day, it was almost shut down. Eberechi Eze was almost off the table because of the next guy I'll get onto. But on Eberechi Eze, I love him in the midfield. It's just a bit of flair, just getting my love for the game back in. Bit of flair, just able to turn on the ball, dribble, great close control. Yeah, I love him in the middle of our midfield. But the prices that are being quoted, like I said, are nuts. But like most people say, it's not our money. But I want the club to spend the money wisely, so then we'll have money for other players in the future. Yeah, it's just a thing. It's not my money, but it's your club. If it's not your money, it's not your club. Then just put it that way. Like, if you're gonna say it's not my money, then you obviously ain't too bothered about how the club spends or wastes their money. Like Manchester United have done loads over the years. Like Chelsea have done the last 2 or 3 years or so. Do you know what I mean? I don't like it's not my money, do whatever you want with it. No, I want the club to be ran well so we can spend the right amount of money on the right players so we can be as efficient as possible. But that's just a rant. Yeah, never mind that. But Eberechi Eze, I take him in the midfield, that's for damn sure. Flair, trickery, that's just what I want. That's just what we all love in football. It's just gets you on the edge of your seat, turning, dribbling at players, committing players. Yeah, I'd love him in the midfield. But is he that suited to... Is he maybe too attacking defensive responsibilities? Is he more of a number 10 or an attacking midfielder rather than the box-to-box that we've been targeting? The likes of Lucas Paqueta, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. Or maybe Declan Rice, Lucas Paqueta, they would suit more that left side of midfield rather than maybe a central number 10 AM spot that Eberechi Eze would probably take up. Could you put Eberechi Eze onto the left-hand side of midfield? Not too sure. Then it also leaves you with no real DM cover because we're Ben and Phillips, or we're not playing him, that's for sure. No real 6 cover for Rodri. You kind of want to bring in a midfielder who can do that. Which leads me on nicely to Matheus Nunes, but no, we're not going to him yet. Eberechi Eze, yeah, would love him in the Man City midfield. Rumours came out at the start of the day that we are interested from some in the knows on Twitter that Eberechi Eze would die for the move, or not die, but he would. He'd be really up for the move. He really wants to know if City are that interested or not. See what's gonna happen with him. But yeah, Eberechi Eze started off at 90 million at the start of the day. Ended up with 70 million in the middle of the day, actually. Not ended up. But then at the end of the day, it looks like it was off the table altogether. All because of another man, leading me nicely into Matheus Nunes. Bombs drop in towards the end of the day. I'm pretty sure Umer on Twitter, if you know him, he called it like an hour before the news dropped. David Ornstein with a bombazzo dropping Matheus Nunes that we've apparently bid 50 million euros or so plus added on packages on top of that. But then Fabrizio has also clambered on that as well, saying that we've done it as well. But then Mike Maynard, the club's mouthpiece, came out and said no official bid yet, but that's from the club. They may not want to antagonise the club like Fabrizio did with Josko Gvardiol on Leipzig. That could just be a cover-up trying to sweeten the club. But yeah, Matheus Nunes makes so much sense just because, well, to be fair, yeah, he just makes so much sense. Right, first of all, more of a left-sided, he can play the 8 box-to-box role well. I can also see him featuring as a number 6 when Rodri is out. That's key in our midfielder requirements. We were linked with him last year instead of Phillips. I've got mad receipts for Matheus Nunes prop. I'd forgotten how much I rated guy. It's this tweet in particular that had me going, saying his build, like I said, build is 60% Rodri's. The way he tackles as well. This was from like a load of comps I'd watched last year from him. I don't know, maybe the last year, so I haven't watched him that much. But from when we were linked with him last year, the way he tackled, Just his structure, very Rodri-like. His positioning on that left-hand side. His security on the ball, secure on the ball. A bit like Gundogan, like I said. And then, although you may not like this, but Cancelo was my favourite player at the time. 60% Cancelo, just because the way he dribbled, his flair dribbling. This was more off Sporting Lisbon highlights, so maybe a bit more freedom to be a bit more flair, a bit more trickery, just maybe the confidence because the talent or the opposition is less so. But yeah, the way he was moving, the way he was dribbling, the way his little burst of pace, which I love, is why I love Kovacic so much as well. The burst of pace, it's giving me Cancelo vibes. So if you mesh them all together, bit of Rodri, bit of Gundogan, bit of Cancelo, which you really kind of need in that midfield if you're looking for a bit of creativity as well. Any bit of Cancelo bar's temperament is always going to be up my street. Maybe not maybe consistency, not so much, but that description right there, really up my street. Really a player I would really like then. And even from this tweet, you can see I would have preferred him in over Phillips. This was actually a reply to someone saying we should get Paulinho over Phillips, and then I'm replying with this saying we should get Matheus. I'd even take Matheus Nunes for 35 to 40 million over Calvin Phillips. So yeah, I'd always actually wanted Matheus Nunes over Phillips. It's looking like City are listening to me, but a year later, after the Phillips has not worked. If you'd only just listened to your boy a year ago, we may not have the Phillips predicament that we're in right now, where he's on big wages, he's eating KFC and Nando's every day. The Yorkshire pudding is here to stay. He ain't bouncing off the back bench on his big contract. He's got bird's eye view or first front row seats to the treble winners. Why would you? None of us would. We'd all stay there and do the exact same thing. But yeah, from this tweet, you can see that I would have preferred Matheus Nunes over Calvin Phillips, and maybe I might finally get my wish. And just looking over some of my previous Nunes receipts, you can just kind of see from this one a lot of predictions coming true here. Bar the box-to-box mids ones, I think that's coming true now because it may be looking like we want to buy one. Maybe that's why Nunes is fitting the mould. And like I said in this tweet, Matheus Nunes would cover both. He would cover both positions, the 6 and the 8 spot, and one of Foden or Grealish would move into the middle. We're seeing now that Foden is starting to move into the middle, and we're also seeing from this tweet that Grealish was in the reasoning to be a midfield player or move into the middle as well. Because don't forget, when we signed Grealish, Bernardo Silva was supposed to leave that year. So Grealish was supposed to eventually end up in the midfield. And if Eberechi Eze can play in the midfield, why can't Jack Grealish? They kind of have a similar, very good dribbling on the ball. They're able to studs on the ball, turn, power. And we all know Jack Grealish loves power inside. I'd love to see him in that left-hand side position, because all you lot on Twitter as well love his defensive actions. So you would think he'd be able to get the tackle in as a midfielder, and his security on the ball is something Pep loves altogether. But yeah, that's for a different video. Matheus Nunes in the midfield with one or Grealish or Foden. Foden, it's what it's going to be. Coming into midfield. It's predicting the future really here. So I got a bit of some analytical mind on me at least. Bar the box-to-box mids thing. Kovacic kind of is that for us now. Nunes will probably be that for us as well as covering the 6th position like I say here. And just going over the Nunes tweets again. I remember saying the other day after Yves Bissouma had a stormer against Spurs here, I did say I wanted him at City. I knew we were linked with him before, and this tweet just proves it, saying I wanted Nunes to come in as kind of a starter to push the starters like a Frankie de Jong or a Benacer or a Nunes, like I said, and Yves Bissouma to come to City. That was basically my point. So I wasn't lying when I said I rated Yves Bissouma from time ago, or from last year at least. And here we go again. Matheus Nunes. This has basically just come to fruition a year later. If we get Matheus Nunes in, which it looked like we might do, we're definitely interested in him anyway. We'll be getting Nunes for a decent price, and guess what we're getting as well? Speedy winger. Jeremy Doku. Another prediction come to fruition a year later. If you just listened to me last year, City, well, actually, we keep it. We won the treble this year, so that's good enough. But City are basically doing what I've been saying to do since a year ago. So hey ho, I know some stuff But yeah, maybe it was just obvious that we should have been doing this sort of thing, or that it's probably obvious we were going to get speedy winger. No, it wasn't actually. We were going away from speedy wingers. I called it last year. I'm taking credit. It's Manchester City, holla at you, boy. But yeah, I said we're going to need money for a speedy winger soon. I didn't realise it was going to be a whole year later, but still, it is what it is. We got one now. Jeremy Doku. You're all news at the moment, but when you come on, maybe at Sheffield or play, you'll be back in the spotlight. Don't you worry. And just finally, the final tweet I wanna put out there is this one. This just got. I must have City's notes, or City's just got my notes. But look at the options. Lucas Paqueta, we were interested in him. Deal just fell short. Matheus Nunes, we're in for him now. Will we get him? Yes or no? Could do, but he's on the list. He's on the tweet and he's on the list. Frankie de Jong, yeah, that's kind of obvious. City would always be interested in that sort of dude, but they know he's not going to leave Barcelona. All right, I kind of missed on that one, but fair. You can see the links why I'd link him to the club. Berardi, I can't remember if we'd been linked with him this year, but I doubt it. That was more last year. Yeah, he's probably gone Saudi now, so yeah, you could probably see why I put him forth as an option, but yeah, maybe a no-go on that one. And then Barella as well. We all want Nicola Barella, or we have done for the last while. City fans, at least, especially. City have admired it and been interested in him a little bit, but no real concrete interest. So I'm gonna give myself a hit on that one as well. And Foden in the midfield. Well, that's kind of easy to predict. The main one was Lucas Paqueta and Matheus Nunes calling, or that was replying to someone who's saying, what options could we bring in at centre mid, or should we bring in Lucas Paqueta? Matheus Nunes were my options. So yeah, it looks like I know a little bit of the club. Yeah, I'm just toot my own horn for the sake of it. But Eberechi Eze versus Matheus Nunes. Eberechi Eze is more of a attacking midfielder, maybe roaming in those 10 spots, maybe a little less knowledge on his defensive abilities. But then Matheus Nunes on the other side of that can play as an 8, can play as a 6. I wouldn't really sure about Eze in a number 8 just yet, especially in a City. So actually, I don't know, but I don't know about him just yet in a number 8. So Matheus Nunes can definitely play the 2 roles, which is great because Rodri's got need rest this year, best believe. But yeah, also Nunes is so comfortable on the ball. Actually, no, Nunes is also just going to cost less as well. But yeah, it's mainly that the fact he can cover the 6 and the 8 position, the box to box. That can allow maybe Foden to do his thing up front, or Julian Alvarez to do his thing in that second striker role, 10 pocket, whatever it is. That's why I'd actually go for Nunes over Eze, just because he can relieve Rodri of those duties sometimes, because Phillips not getting games at all. Yeah, it's purely for that. Just because I don't think Eze can play that maybe box to box midfield role as well as Matheus Nunes defensively, and yeah, for that six position reasoning, because we do have players to fill in the number 10 spot or an attacking role spot. Maybe not with the creativity as Phil Foden, but then if we get Nunes or if we get Eze, that kind of shoves Florian Wirtz off the table next year. But if we get Nunes, that kind of leaves him on the table because he doesn't really cover those positions. And I think we'd last the season without Wirtz and with Nunes in that spot. So yeah, Matheus Nunes. It also leaves an option to buy a further attacking player, whether that's Wirtz next year or whatnot. But yeah, Matheus Nunes would actually be my choice. Cheaper, although I'm a flair boy at heart, so Eberechi Eze, if he comes in, I ain't disagreeing whatsoever. Oh, there'll be a little bit of sauce at the end of this season. But yeah, whatever happens, I'm down with. It looks like it's Matheus Nunes anyway. It looks like Eze is not the option, or for whatever reason. But who knows? News could change rapidly. Doku was the only news at the start of Wednesday. Then it was Eze for 90 million, Eze for 70 million, Eze for no million because we ain't getting him. Then it's Matheus Nunes for 50 million on add-ons. Oh, but then Mike Mayonnaise come out and said we don't have even any bid put in. So who knows? News is changing. News is ramping up. The transfer window is in full flow, coming towards the end. City really shouldn't be having much news to talk about because we're usually so organised in the transfer window, but I love it anyway. News. Just yeah, but that's it. Matheus Nunes, Eberici EZE is the bulk of this video. Goodbye to Laporte, thank you very much. Great servant. Bernardo Silva renews the contract, and Jeremy Doku. Who's that guy? Oh yeah, he's our new winger. That'll probably be announced today. Probably be announced before you see this video. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to go through. Manic day, like I said. Don't forget to hit the like button. Helps other City fans find the channel, find the video, and subscribe if you're new. Comment down below who you'd prefer out of EZE and Nunes. Tell me why as well. Yeah, and I shall see you next time. Peace.